Now, on Joy News Agenda, for the past 2 weeks, we have been highlighting access to potable water. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has visited one community in the central Tongo district and has generated a lot on social media. Let's check out a bit of that report.
Residents here, old and young, men and women on daily basis, walk for some 15 minutes to get to the nearest water source. This is how the water looks like. Unclean, brownish, muddy, as thick as porridge. Sticks and tree branches lie in them with bubbles brewing all over it. Felicia, a mother of 4, stands in the mud as she stretches her hand and fetches from the deep source into her basin. A large chunk of what she fetches is actually mud. But guess what? They drink it like that, without any form of treatment.
So that has generated a lot on social media. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine she was drinking that.
And it's probably something they do every day.
Yes.
Yeah, this is something they're used to.
That's gross.
It's gross and it's unfortunate because they don't have access to the water. So a lot of people have been commenting on our Facebook page about that report. Let's see if we can get some of those comments. I mean...
So I'm seeing what, like 106 shares, 10,000 views. Okay, 160 shares and 10,000 views. All right, so let's check out some of the comments. General says, I think that residents of that community are very lazy. Can't they do anything to help themselves? They can come together to dig a well that will provide clean water. There are 3 replies there. I'm interested in what those replies are going. Why would you say they're lazy? Probably they can't do anything about it. Let's check out the replies on there. We have 3 replies. Okay, so Julian says, good suggestion, but water from wells are not clean. Kweku seems to agree, says, very true, very lazy. Vivian says, I couldn't agree more with you. How can a whole community sit and wait for government to supply them water whilst they can dig wells to get water? Well, those are your opinions. You don't know the context of their situation. W. James says, so sad Ghana in the 21st century have lost our senses as humans. We speak big English at international forums and we can't not provide common water for our countrymen. Billions and billions of liters of water flows into the sea per minute, yet we have no solutions utilizing this resource to benefit the poor Ghanaian. Can't trenches be dug along the rivers to take the untreated water to the poor folks and the mud they scrape every day for their water needs? And Kofi Akowa says all these communities are members of parliament who sit in Accra and say all kinds of things. How much is the cost of a borehole? How much do we pay to our MPs, our sitting allowance, rent allowance, entertainment allowance, clothing allowance, etc.? We should be wise as people going forward. Right,
so a lot of upset people.
Yeah.
On that.
But I know that with this kind of advocacy and the fact that we put out a story, people are going to empathize with them and come to their aid. If you can support this community, please get in touch with us. We would try and put you in touch with the people so you can see what you can do about their situation. Hopefully we're going to get something positive coming out of this.
Yeah, okay, so let's take a few more comments from Boateng B. Asari Boateng, who says, in my village it was the same, but we managed to cultivate into proper way for consumption and later contributed for 2 boreholes.
Okay, so that's a good example.
Yeah.
It's worth emulating.
Right, let's see if we can get more comments on that. Okay, let's take the last comment from Kwabe Nakobe, who says, there's no Galamsey in this community, yet their water is unclean. Go to a Galamsey community and see if they have this kind of dirty water. The Galamseys dig out boreholes for the community, yet you have banned Galamsey for about 2 years, leaving people unemployed.
See the way he's taking this thing, using it as advocacy for people to be allowed
fellow
to...
Galamseyers.
No.
All right, now let's move on. There's an increasing number of married men coming out to report their abusive wives, and that's according to the outgoing gender minister, Otuku Afisu Jaba, who says some men have been secretly writing to her to complain about assault on them by their wives. Let's listen to her.
Most of the time, the cases being reported are women beating men. But in recent times, we've received about 6 calls. There was an incident of a man who talked about his wife using a stool to hit his head. And so in our culture, it is not manly to say that your wife has beaten you up. So what I know is that it is happening, but they don't complain because they don't want to be seen as weak. Because I get personal letters from these men. They don't go to report to DOFSO. They write to me personally that these are their problems.
So we asked you on the streets of Accra, why do you think men find it difficult to speak up when they're being abused?
If I should come to you and I'll be like, oh, my wife beat me yesterday, how will you feel about it? Come on, you'll be like a whole you, like a man like you expect me to react back, to beat her back. But in this part of our country, you understand, ladies are abusing us, honestly, it's true. You get girls slapping their boyfriends or their husbands anyhow, and you can't beat them back because immediately you do, they'll be like, oh, you're a man, you think you're a man, you're masculine, so you're beating the feminine and all that. But they do, yeah, they really do abuse us. I've seen some, I've heard some, but we can't, who are we going to say to the police?
I think it's embarrassing because it's known that men are strong, a strong side, and so it's very embarrassing for them to own up and say that, oh, my wife has beaten me, because women are seen as the weaker side. That's how it's assumed. So I think it's embarrassing for them to admit to that.
Sometimes maybe the woman is in charge of the household, and so sometimes if the man go and report to the police, then who's going to be in charge? Paying of the children's school fees, water bills, light bills, food stuff. Definitely, we will not go and report. We will just keep it in him.
The men, I mean, it's biblical that the men are head of the family. So it is very difficult that you go to the police station that your wife has beaten you. No. Even society and societal norms, it doesn't make sense at all. So I think because of societal norms, men find it very difficult to report when their wives beat them.
Is it?
Yes, okay. So it's interesting this is coming up because I have this this joke that was shared on a WhatsApp platform. I'd like to share that with you. So in church, a pastor announced, if you know your wife is controlling you, move to the left. And all the men in the church moved to the left, except one man. The pastor was happy there was at least one strong man. So he asked, how come your wife can't control you? And then the man quietly replied, it's my wife who told me not to move.
Hey,
right,
okay.
let's get on to Facebook. By Jeremiah says, oh, he laughs out and says, such men fear that they will lose their wives. Ignorance, shyness and pride are among the reasons. Domestic violence doesn't respect or discriminate against gender. And he actually says more. He says more there. Let's open it up. Okay, please, men, speak up if your partners are assaulting you. Marriage is a place for peace and not to be used as Guantanamo Bay for torturing. Philip Ahuma says, don't even try it. You will become the new Mr. Bean in town. People will try consoling you, but behind you, they will make fun of you. A husband whose wife disciplines him is that one to a man.
Oh.
This, among others, will become your surname. Ituahene says, a lot of reasons may call for such calm, egoism, blind love, fear of disgrace and stigmatization, etc. As a man, I'll not beat a woman. So what at all will motivate a woman to beat her husband? This issue must be handled well. If women cry when beaten by men, then what will men do when they are beaten? God have mercy. We all need Christ.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents? And what were some of the things they restricted you from doing? This is the question we asked some of these people on the streets of Accra.
A rate of 10 is what I would give them. I'm from a disciplinarian home, more or less. Dad is very disciplinarian. He always wants to make sure that your kids actually, their children go in a certain way. There was a way we are brought up in a home, staying out of the house late at night. By 9:30, should be at home. You know, going out for parties late in the night. We're out.
Out of 10%, I'll take, let's say, 2%. Yeah. They just give me advice, but they are not strict on me. Yeah. They tell me not to do drugs, alcohol, this kind of bad friends, smoking, this kind of trauma stuff. They advise me not to do that. That's the main thing, because I'm a guy, so they advise me not to do that.
Free, not too strict. They let me my freedom and let me do my things. Only that I earn money they wanted when I was older. And I had more freedom than my sister because she was the firstborn. They did not allow me to smoke or to go out late alone, but they allowed me to travel alone when I was 16 and let me have girlfriend or whatever I wanted.
5. I'll say they were 5 because they were not so strict. They were just in between, on and off, like they were just okay. They will allow you to go out, but don't stay out late. Yes, and then they will allow you to have certain privileges. Maybe money. They would give you money, but not so much. They have a limit. If you're taking too much, they'll go like, no, I don't think this is correct. We've already given you this already, so.
And get back to our issue on Facebook. Sharif Sulemana says, my parents, especially my father, are outrightly very strict. They've always restricted me, and even now, from unnecessarily mingling with the opposite sex, so as to keep me pure and virgin till no shells. Okay? Kingsley Efisa says, my mom has taught me a lot, which I don't regret it. She restricted me not to eat from the streets, and for that matter, I can now cook for myself. Pound my own fufu, so I'm not intending to marry. Thank you, Mom. Really?
Really? Come on. All right, so they can check out the rest of the comments on our Facebook page, Joy News on TV. You can also catch some live tweets on Twitter. It's Joy News on TV. Izzy, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Mapetso.